Hey everybody, what's up? You could see what's in front of you right there. It is Sonic issue 253. I just got it in the mail today. I had a feeling I was going to get it in the mail today because I didn't get it last week, which primarily tells me I'll be getting the next one on the final week of October. But anyway, what are my thoughts on this issue, the first issue of the Countdown to Chaos arc? Well, I could say this. I think it's intriguing. I think it's a decent start, if you will, very intriguing. Now, here's what I think a lot of people kind of get out of it, and they kind of look at it and they wonder, well, what's going on? What's with the altered reality? Well, basically what it is it seems that, from what I could tell, from what I could tell just by this issue, because we know a little bit more now. Basically, Ian is trying to combine elements of the games and of the original continuity. In other words, the SATA-YAM continuity, if you will, if you want to call it that. So he's trying to combine elements from both sides. What's intriguing about this, too, is you have Sonic, who basically is starting to remember things like primarily from games like Sonic Adventure, where he talked about the egg tower and, being the base of the egg carrier and such things like that. So basically, a lot of those stories that at times were in continuity, if you will, in continuity, or just game canon, basically no comic retaliation or no comic adaptation unless need be. Yeah, something like that. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wait a minute. They did do a Sonic Adventure adaptation, so what Sonic says in here doesn't make sense, seeing as though it was adapted in the comics. Yeah, it's true. Sonic Adventure was adapted, but primarily some of the stuff that he's mentioning from the egg tower, the egg carrier, and all that was never, from what I remember, that was never really showcased that much in the Sonic Adventure adaptation. As far as I know, it was never really showcased. Anyway, that's the one thing about this, and because even as a reader, a long-time reader, you're kind of wondering how it's going to work. Well, basically, like I said, it looks like Ian's combining both the game elements and the SATA-YAM elements into an all-new element, into an all-new timeline. So that's pretty cool. I do dig the fact that in this issue, I like Rotor's reaction. It is cool to see him more active on the battlefield, if you will. I like that. I really do. I like the fact that I like the fact that that's part of his new redesign, if you will, that he's more active in the field. He's a battle mechanic now. But I think the one thing that gets some fans, longtime fans might be upset about, is now anytime he'll be introduced, it'll be with a "the" in the middle. Instead of Rotor Walrus, it's going to be Rotor the Walrus. And they're not going to like that. But it's just a nitpicky thing there, but overall not too bad. But again, I like his reaction to Tails and Sonic, because Tails, when they go into Sky Patrol, and I like how the Sky Patrol's got this big star, which is paying homage to a lot of the star posts that Sonic goes by, a lot of the star bouncers and all that Sonic goes on and stuff in the games. I like that little homage there. I like that. It's pretty cool. It's really good. I like it. It's really up there. I give him props for that. I had to drink some soda there. But again, I give him some props for that. So that's pretty neat to see that, if you will. To see the roof, the kind of like the roof design of the Sky Patrol having a star on it, being reminiscent of the star post and little star things, checkpoints, if you will. I like that. It's really nice. But again, his reaction is like, okay, guys, what's going on with you? You know, why are you acting so weird? Because he looks at Tails, and he's like, well, Tails, you can't really remember that you're the one that named it. You insisted naming it the Sky Patrol and this and that. And until finally they say, okay, Nicole. Until finally they're like, okay, Rotor, it'd be easier if you just take Nicole directly in your hands, and hopefully that helps out. So basically, Rotor does exactly what Tails did in the previous issue. And basically, bam, the old world's memories just wake up inside of him. His old world memories start to wake up inside of him. And basically, not only does it shock him, and not only does it like, it's like, oh my God, you know, like, I don't believe it. It's like, oh my God. That can't be. It's like, I can't fathom. No, this can't be. You know, he's got that kind of reaction. And basically, he's like, and he's asking Tails and Sonic, how can you guys handle it? How can you guys handle the fact that we have two separate memories? That there was two worlds, two different kinds of memories. And he's like, no, I can't handle this right now. I gotta focus. I gotta focus. So basically, after finally calming down, he gives Sonic and Tails the information about where the others are. He both tells them that Bunny and Sally are deep undercover on missions for the Sky Patrol. Antoine is with Uncle Chuck and Knothole. So, and Sonic's actually, and that Amy's missing in action. Now apparently Amy was supposed to be guarding the Sky Patrol with them, but she just simply vanished. And Rotor, he mentions to Sonic, I thought she just went chasing after you again. Which tells me they're going to be putting that as part of the continuity for the new timeline, just like in the game. Because everybody knows that in the games, when Sonic goes somewhere, Amy always wants to try to be behind him at times. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen now in the comics, apparently. Apparently, if, let's say, in a future issue down the line, Sally and Sonic are like, okay, we're going to go on this mission. And Sally's like, Sonic, I'm going to go with you and Rotor, or you and Antoine, and we're going to go down to this section of the world, or this zone section of the world, and we're going to take care of business here. Amy's going to want to go with them, and let's say she gets told no. And let's say she gets told no by Sonic and Sally, like, no, you got to stay here and help out, keep an eye on things here. She, apparently from what it sounds like from what Rotor has said in this issue, it sounds like sounds like what they got planned for her is to be the kind that will go against orders and try to always be around Sonic. Because basically when Rotor asked him, because basically when Rotor said, I thought she was chasing after you again, that basically told me right there she's gonna, that's gonna be the new trait for her in the comics. And I know a lot of Amy fans are not going to be happy about that. I know they're not going to be happy about that, but it does stay true to the game. So you got to appreciate that. You got to appreciate that. Now besides that, Sonic, after hearing that information, basically says, okay, we got to add Amy to the list now of those that are missing, those that we got to get in contact with and have Nicole get in contact with again, and blah, blah, blah. But basically Sonic is kind of happy because, Bunny's all right. Bunny's still with them. Chuck's still all right. Chuck's okay. Bunny's still with them. Antoine's on his feet. And Sally's okay. She's on a mission. She's not a robot. And this here, when he says she's not a robot, they could have easily had Rotor say, well, that's not really true, Sonic. You remember she was, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is what happened, with her being, with what Ben Bates saying is, what Ben Bates commented a couple of days ago. If you read this issue, you know that he was just being sarcastic. So, and Ben, if you're watching, nice try. But anyway, overall, Sonic's kind of elated that everybody's okay. Everything's basically as it should be. Now, basically as it should be. Now, I like how Rotor kind of explains that he and Tails, even though it's taking Tails a little while to remember, that he and Tails designed the Sky Patrol to finally be an answer to the Death Egg and to all the other, to Eggman's Death Egg Fortress and all the other flying stuff, all the other flying bases and stuff that Eggman will throw at them. And I do like the interior. I really do. It kind of is very reminiscent of somewhat of Star Trek. If you think about it, you take a look at how the seating and all that is. You kind of have an idea that everybody's going to have a certain position to sit in. That's cool. I like that. We'll have a little Star Trek influence there on the interior, on the inside. So that's pretty cool. Now I like how Eggman. The one thing about Eggman's role in this issue is I like how he's finally realizing, you know, oops, I may have been a little too hasty. I may have let my anger get the best of me, kind of deal. Like he's realizing that he shouldn't have been, you know, so angry at first and been so impatient as to wanting things to be his way. It's like he should have said, basically Eggman's realizing in this issue, I should have just let Sonic restore the world, restore reality, and then let business just start back up where it left off. That's basically how it looks at it. Like, I should have just let business start where it left off. So yeah, he's kind of being a little, I guess you could say, regretting his decision to attack Sonic during Sonic's Chaos Control and trying to restore the world as it was. So he's realizing that by doing so, he basically helped alter reality, and that now he's got to get back to the Death Egg and try to find a way to fix things, because apparently, as we see at the end of the issue, he's starting to see that the planet's starting to have some major after effects of him interfering with the Chaos Control. The one thing about this too is I like how you have Orbot and Cubot basically moaning and complaining that they've been pushing and been walking, pushing and pushing that Eggmobile and all that. They're just getting sick of it. And I like how Eggman finally just lets loose on them and saying, look, if I had the resources to fix this Eggmobile, get us the heck out of here, I would do it, but I don't have the resources. I don't have this. I don't have that. And wouldn't you know, ironically at that same time, here comes this new egg army of Eureka Desert, of the Eureka Plains, the Eureka Egg Army, the new character Axel the Water Buffalo. And, you know, I like how Axel's a little bit like, are you okay still? And you say, oh, and Eggman's trying to play it off like, oh yeah, I'm fine. So basically they head to the Eureka Plains, get, you know, fueled up, if you will. They basically get something to eat, fueled up, everything worked. And even Eggman's able to do a little research. He's able to do a little research on what's going on and why everything's so wonky, so out of place. So basically, after getting refueled and finally building or repairing and, you know, basically rebuilding and repairing and getting fueled up and getting the means they need to get back to the Death Egg and having it, and even having everything synced up with the egg net, if you will. That's when Eggman realizes they have no time to waste. They got to get back to the Death Egg so he can figure out a way to try to fix things. Because again, he repeats to Orbot and Cubot that, you know, he basically tells them, hey, you remember when I said I may have been hasty in stopping Sonic from doing Chaos Control? Look below, kind of deal. Because basically, doing the global research, he's realizing that the planet's starting to tear itself apart because you got two separate timelines trying to meld together, and they can't. So, overall though, not a bad issue, not really bad at all. I like Big's involvement. I like how they're making him sort of like giving him a bit of a bigger role, if you will, so that's pretty cool. But overall, not too bad of an intro issue to the Countdown to Chaos arc. Not too bad. I will give Trunks I will give Trunks over Devinart Lamar Wells. Give him credit for his artistic work in it. Very well done. But again, not too bad. Not too shabby. It could be better. You know, it's still a little confusing, I'm sure, for a lot of people. But I was right about one thing. I stood right there where you see the comic is. I stood right here in this very position, and I said Nicole was going to be the key, and I was right. I was right, because you got to think about, because I like how they even at the beginning, the first page, in the recap page, the first page, they kind of mention that Nicole is the key to everybody's getting their memories back, and thus helping her get to 100% again, and trying to figure out how to work things out. So I like how they basically acknowledge that, just like I said, she is the key, because you got to think of it this way. She's an AI, so basically being an artificial intelligence, she's not really affected that much by what's going on. She's affected a little bit, but not as much. So overall, not a bad issue, not a bad intro issue. I'll give it maybe about a 7.5 out of 10. Not too bad. It gave us an idea of what's going on, so I'll give it about 7. No, I'll just give it an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10, not too bad. Not too bad, and gave us an idea of what's going on. Could have gave us a little bit more information. Could have gave us pictures of Bunny and Tails. I mean, not Bunny, but Bunny and Sally and Antoine. And let's see what they kind of look like a little bit. I mean, we kind of have an idea of what Sally looks like, but you know, give us, instead of giving those shadowy pictures, or shadowy silhouettes, it would have been better if they gave us full pictures on there. So overall, not too bad at all. An 8 out of 10 issue. And we'll just see what happens in the next few weeks when we get to 254, and see what happens there. But that is my video review for Sonic 253, the first issue of Countdown to Chaos. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Comment if you want, do a video response, and I will talk to you all later. And take your time in watching this video, because I will post it and link it on certain message boards. Not the Sonic Stadium though, that's an entirely different story. But certain message boards. So, till then, God bless, take care, and I'm out.